Iberian Trail Expedition, episode 35. I've ripped my tyre clean off the wheel while attempting to cross this snow-choked, high-altitude pass at 2,000 metres above sea level in the mountains. And I'm now stranded on a remote four-wheel drive track. Just when I thought that we were going to be home free, I have ripped a tyre off the rim. I really hope that tyre's alright. This vehicle has been absolutely plagued with wheel and tyre issues for literally years, and as a result, so have all my expeditions. I've bent pretty much every one of these wheels more times than I can count, and seem to have a knack for continually ripping out sidewalls of tyres, resulting in some spectacular bush fixes that sometimes go on to end up having explosive consequences. Needless to say that at this point, I'm pretty well versed in dealing with these issues. Not that that makes them any easier to overcome. Have you ever seen, though, a more spectacular place for this to happen? I haven't. I began ranging around for some big rocks that I could use to chock the wheels of the cruiser. The vehicle was on quite an incline here, and I didn't want it rolling downhill when I jacked it up. I'm gonna get the tools out of the back and get this thing up on the high lift. It's just back. Having initially not realised that anything was wrong, just to double back up the mountain to see where I got to, and he quickly saw my predicament. I opened up the back of the cruiser to start pulling out the tools that I was gonna need to do this job. Impact gun in hand, I whipped the high lift off the side of the vehicle. The high lift is one of those last resort style tools that I don't really like using, especially on a long distance expedition, because if things go wrong when you're using it, you basically have 3 tons on the handle, and it can take your head off way too easily. But with situations like this, there's really no option. I got the jack set up, and we got to work getting this vehicle into the air. The plan here was standard: fill the tyre up with aerosol and explode it back onto the rim. With the tyre full of deodorant, I was trying to use the spade to create a gap so that I could get a flame to it. With the aerosol trapped inside the tyre, I was struggling here, and just had the idea to use more of the aerosol and cover the rim, so as to act as some kind of fuse, a propellant that I could light on the outside of the tyre, while I pushed the tyre back with the spade to create a gap. This trick had worked an absolute treat, and with Truss's assistance, it had been a whole lot more controlled than many of my previous exploits. The tyre retracted on the rim as I went to get the compressor out, but as I got it all connected up, it soon became apparent that everything wasn't well. At this point, the tyre should have filled right up and be holding air normally, and while I was managing to get the tyre holding some air, I was finding that I was unable to get the tyre to hold much pressure at all. It was topping out at around 15 psi and wouldn't hold further pressure. It quickly became apparent that we were going to have to take this wheel off again. We needed to take a look at the bead at the back from where the air was escaping to see what could be done about getting it to hold air again.